my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Best 100 FM.
Make me a radio and turn me up when you feel low. This melody was meant for you. So sing along to my stereo.
Hey, my listening crew. This is your late afternoon companion to Chickaloo on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is on the ear with me, yours truly. A program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed. With the credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout-outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-438-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
You don't have to. You don't have to. When you listen to Phillips
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back. All right. So, not a major recap because we have to be efficient in our use of time. Just to remind you that we've been talking about the main government institution that would support your socio-economic community-based project. And this is the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. It is an organization with which Pastor is very familiar. How familiar he is, I've just been learning more as we talk during the break. So the Morning Connections commitment to help to organize what we're doing for the 1660 will benefit greatly from the actual experience that sits at the table. But I'm going to shift because, first I need to say that rural communities are also included in the poverty reduction, socioeconomic focus. A lot of times we think that these things are for the city folk. No, any community anywhere in Jamaica that has the need to fix certain vulnerabilities that limits the growth of the community, you qualify.
And what the JSF did, there are certain communities that they target across the island.
Yes, because volatile and vulnerable communities, those that are notoriously so, will make it to the top of the list.
Well, I want to show some as you do that. They have found though that the projects that are rural based have greater success than the ones in urban.
You're just trying to stroke my country girl ego.
No, it's not that.
No, country people tend to be a lot more focused and organized. Maybe it's all that fresh air.
Yeah. I will find the source of it.
All right, but I'm gonna shift now because if your project is agricultural in nature, and boy, do I recommend those projects because as everybody says when they call, we need to be able to feed ourselves. We all treasure the ability to feed ourselves. If your project is agricultural in nature, then the organization for you is RADA. The Rural Agricultural Development Authority is a statutory body. It was established under the Rural Agricultural Development Authority Act in 1990, the Act of 1990, and it replaced the Land Authorities. Do you remember Land Authorities Act? I remember that is the one that my father was an extension officer in the Ministry of, working for them. I don't know. I just know he was an extension officer. But RADA is the government organization that is focused on driving national economic growth and stability through agricultural development. Everybody who wants to do something in agriculture should get to know RADA. And we should, rather than leave it there and the only thing we know about it is what is the latest scandal, we should be inundating RADA with requests for support and assistance as we seek to build through agriculture. RADA is committed, this is their mission. RADA is committed to promoting the development of agriculture in Jamaica as the main engine of economic growth in rural communities through an efficient, modern, and sustainable extension service which will enhance the national economy and improve the quality of life of rural farm families. I love the mandate, mission. Sorry, it says everything that we love. It talk about families. Well, I'm a country girl, so anything that's a rural makes me feel like, I'm being considered. And it talks about enhancing national economy.
But do you put the resources behind that?
Well, let us test them. The only way we're going to know is when we begin to test them. Good morning, Earl and Conrad. I'm so sorry that your adoptive country is in such a state of crisis. They're talking all about the horrors going on the borders, on the border with Ottawa, and Earl Brown called them occupiers. Some of the occupiers want to see the overthrow of the Canadian government. Yes, we're very sorry things not going right in where you are, but perhaps you could focus with us a little bit on how we want to build some community-based organizations in Jamaica to make changes in Jamaica so that when you're fed up with Canada, you can come home and find yourself very well received, especially because you would be seen as a partner in some of the communities where we're trying to bring change. We are sorry about what's happening in Canada, but the truth of the matter is that one is bigger than us, some of our pay grade.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so back to RADA.
I won't say anything else. Back to RADA. So RADA has done it. One of the things they have said it, you spoke about your father being an extension officer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people have complained that in a lot of communities don't see them. So that's why I'm saying put money behind of it.
It's because my father died.
Expertise there.
So let's talk. Let me just share with you what some of the things that RADA seeks to do, what they are established to do. They supplement information to rural development agencies, assisting in advancing improvements in rural infrastructure. That sounds generally roads, water, systems that allow you to navigate your environment. They provide supplemental social services that are required for the improvement of the quality of life of farm families. I don't know what that means in terms of social services, but we are going to find out. Just listen carefully so you can hear what applies to you. What is that you desire that you're not getting? They provide technical advice to farmers of any size. Now, that is easy. When you've identified your land and you decide that I'm going to put this land into production, you can get technical advice from RADA. They're saying they will help you to work out your irrigation system, the size of your plot, what your productivity ratio should be in terms of what you should plant, how to plant it, and what the yield ought to be from your farm. They can guide you on, how to nourish the land so that it gives you the best yield. And technical advice, you can get that from RADA. And they say they will provide you with reliable agricultural marketing information so you can know too what's in demand, what to plant, when to plant it, where to sell it, maybe even some information on general pricing. And they might even be able to guide you what level of investment, how much money you should be spending on a crop, given what the yield is likely to be and the return on it. So they can help you to make a business out of agriculture. Well, it's so...
I'm just putting it, stretching it.
Their objectives now, they say they train and develop extension personnel at all levels. So suppose you want to be an extension officer in your community so you can help the farmers who are around you. Training and development, you can get it from RADA. So one of your projects can be, I want to select 6 young men and women or whatever gender, and we want to be trained so we can help the farmers in our area. That can be your project. There's a place for you. They will mobilize agricultural credit and other input opportunities for small farmers.
Talk about agricultural credit, man.
Yeah. But I spoke to Nigel Myrie, who was on the program with us before and who has consented to speak to us again, to share with us again. I have enlisted his aid to help the communities, those who want to start a farming project. And he has given me some very practical tips, which I'm going to share before we end. But, so as not to overwhelm you with too much detail, if you go on RADA's website, you will see a full layout of what it is that they will do. So just remember, if your project is in agriculture, there is a partner for you, and it's RADA. All right, so I've done RADA. The other institution that I want to do, this one is a private trust, but it is still very relevant, is the Jamaica Environment Trust. This is JET. You hear about them all the time. If conservation and protecting the environment is where your project needs to be, then you can partner
Jet.
with JET.
They're building
Invite
to
their
cockpit country.
yes, and we see them all the time. Anytime there's a beach cleanup, or so if you live in a coastal town or there's a river in your community that has an impact on life in the community, natural resource, that is JET's. Let me just find them. That is their remit. Let me see. I'll just type it in again and start all over. So the Jamaica Environment Trust, this is a private trust. As I said, you can establish a trust as your project. And they have a number of projects underway which you can participate in if you don't want to start all over. But I just want to give you general information on who they are and what they do. Here we go. This is JET.
And I think our guest from last week, Thursday, Morrison. Bevan.
Oh, Bevan. Oh, yes, that's true.
Bevan would have been involved.
Good morning, Bevan. I hope you're listening to us.
Some of the work that they've been doing. So the general thing is that even though a lot of these, the 1660s about people actually
taking
charge of their situation, changing mindset, there are organizations out there who can help you in terms of what you need to do and what you need to accomplish. So we're just highlighting some of them. Agriculture, art, rather, social infrastructure, JSIF, and of course the Jamaica Environmental Trust.
The Jamaica Environment Trust, their tagline is a voice for Jamaica's natural resources. So they are established to protect the natural resources through law, advocacy, and conservation projects. You can donate to them. It's a membership organization, so you can join them and you can volunteer. There are a number of projects that they have underway, conservation projects, which you can go on their website and learn more about them. But I think they are an excellent resource if what you want to do is a project that touches and concern the protection of a natural resource or to protect the environment generally, whether it is how to handle garbage, recycling of garbage, cleanup, and just maintaining some system. You might decide that you want to start a recycling project in your community, so you want to set up bins and have a system in place to communicate with community members, or you want to, whatever it is you want to do. There are partners who can give you technical advice, just help you to get established and help you to navigate those charted courses. Let's see what else we have. So that's the three. All right. I started by referring to the different structures that you can use. The co-op. A cooperative is a not-for-profit organization that there's a place where you register it. To start it, you need to bring the interested parties together, have at least, this is RADA standard, you need to have at least 2 meetings so you can be registered with RADA. So if your project is in agriculture, let me tell you what is recommended. Actually got that very helpful hint from my friend Mr. Myrie. He says, okay, of course, I wanted to know if RADA has a starter kit for farmers. Something I recommend. And maybe that is one of the things that we will accomplish if we have more than one agricultural projects. We will narrow down a basic kit that a combination of seeds, information, and contact persons. We'll see how that goes. So he said to me, they have to start by meeting. Elect officers, a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. Conduct 2 official meetings with confirmed minutes. Then you can register with RADA and start the application process to become a benevolent society or a co-op. Very easy. If agriculture is the project you want to do, you need to have at least 2 confirmed meetings with minutes and elect your officers. And that's it. We'll get you registered with RADA, and you're on your way to being established and recognized now as a beneficiary of the resources that you need to implement your project. How easy is that?
One of the things that just jumps out is the need to train human resource. How you conduct meetings, simple
Yes,
things
yes,
that
yes.
people know to do that.
So you know
don't-
that is our role now.
Yeah, so we
Because
can conduct a meeting.
the morning connection as the parent of these ideas. The morning connection as the mother of these projects will give the initial nurturing before we toss you out of the nest, so you can go ahead and build. Now, this model of just having 2 meetings and electing your officers is actually very useful to apply across the board for any project, even for your JSIF project if you're going to do a socioeconomic poverty reduction project. The same model works. The only thing I will say to you in terms of numbers, you need a minimum of 10 members to start your co-op.
Right.
Including your officers, you need 10 persons. So I think we'll just let that be the minimum standard, because if you can't get 10 people in the community to participate in something, then it is not a democratic process.
No,
It's tending more towards the personality-driven informal thing,
right.
which not that we would discourage you, but in order for you to do something for your community, you must have community involvement, which means you must have you must have at least 10 people who feel the same way about it and want to accomplish something.
And it leads to sustainability.
And it will engender sustainability. This is a point I'm emphasizing because many of us are inclined to be mavericks. We are committed to being the one man standing against the world. But remember what we say always: if we can't bring the family, then it is a loss. I'm just rephrasing it. We are not interested in one great survival. We want to. This is what no man left behind.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Yes. So
That's
it is an important part of what we're doing, that we are able to communicate with persons effectively so that they buy into the vision and mission.
Right.
And we must show the level of humility and partnership that we can bring others along with us. And that too is a hallmark of leadership. That you can bring others along with you. You alone coming as a lone warrior is not impressive. So,
this time and season.
Absolutely. This is a time when you've got to step down from your lofty position or whatever it is you may be thinking. A lot of us think that we know what's best in a situation, and because we are right, we are prepared to be the only right person. That don't make no sense. You don't want to be the only right person. You want to be the individual who can communicate the rightness of your position to others and bring them in unity with you. Isn't that what we're looking for?
Yeah. But so it is always a balancing act in terms of the leader. The leader, like what Moses did, the passage you already spread it out. We're capable and spread it out. Yeah. Common vision, working together, sustainable.
There is a process to extracting the vision from your neighbors and friends. There is a process. They won't all come agreeing with you right from the start. So sometimes you may have an idea of what you think the thing ought to be, but instead of saying this is what we're doing, you start by pulling from persons. What do they think? What do they see? And you try to weave a fabric made out of all the ideas you're getting, so you see what it looks like. Kind of how an artist creates. That may be your role. You may think that this is really what ought to be in place, but you don't lead with that. You start by having discussion and opening up the conversation so persons can voluntarily say, this is what is in my heart for my community. Just, a little aside there. Okay. Yep. If you want to do a trust, the way to establish a trust, if it's your trust, then you are the donor, meaning you are going to put up the first dollar that is required to implement the activities of the trust. So you can put $1 million in an account and call it the TFC Community Trust, for example. That $1 million is the capital of the trust. You appoint a committee of managers to operate the trust with you as the trustee. You give them a mandate. You can retain for yourself some voting rights, so you can ensure that the trust is doing what it ought to do. A trust is meaningless unless the beneficiaries are clearly defined. So your trust might be for the benefit of children between the ages of 1 to 10 in a community. So anyone who looks at the trust can immediately set the eligibility criteria for beneficiaries of trust. In order for a trust to be sustainable, it must be able to exist of the interest that is earned by the capital. So your $1 million is there, and you're using it to generate interest and money that will run the trust. Your trust may be such that persons can contribute to it. So once you've done your trust deed and you register it with the requisite, what is it called again? The document registry.
You mean cooperative then?
No, a trust. You don't register your trust with a cooperative. You would register it at the
company office.
Not the company's office. One of the where you register deeds.
Okay. In RGD?
In yes.
RGD?
In RGD, that place, it has an office in Spanish Town.
Oh, Register General Department. Okay.
Register General.
Oh,
yes.
I was wondering.
Right. No, your trust is a deed, like where you register deed polls and where you register. You know, this is your place where you minister. That's why I kept looking at you. Yeah. So you register your trust with the Register General Department. It's the same place. It's a deed. So it's the same place you would register a deed of trust, a deed poll, a power of attorney.
Okay.
Register your trust. You set up bank accounts for it. You do the various, corporate things, and you can open your trust now to taking donations from other persons. So persons can give money into your trust, but it is still a private trust, and there are some organizations that might not deal with it unless they are satisfied with the system of governance and so on and so forth. Yes. Yeah. So even someone like who was it that was struggling to get his name on a co-op because he didn't meet the fit and proper requirement?
In Jamaica, yeah?
Yes, man. An artist that I really like too. Buju Banton. Buju Banton was struggling to get his name on a co-op. He could have established a private trust.
Okay.
And do what he's doing because you don't need government approval to be on your trust.
It's
What
your
you
trust.
need, it's your trust, it's your money. Put your money in trust. But then the problem he might have is with tax incentives. All right, it's time for the break, and everybody's looking like they're gonna launch a war to bring us into submission. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. With them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 100 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13, and talk directly to the boss. Just tell him I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling him, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
In real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Donna, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith that God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Dig my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. I can't believe I have gone so far into the morning's program and I have not expressed condolences to the family of my very good friend who passed away yesterday, died yesterday, Donovan Jackson. I think there's a part of my mind that is just not accepting it despite.
You're in denial.
Yeah, I think so. I'm, and of course, his brother died, Lenny Jackson, Dr. Lenworth Jackson died
Also, when I know
in
that guy with
2020.
so familiar.
So familiar, yes. They were lookalikes, man. And Donovan was just one of the greatest individuals you would have the honor of working with, of just engaging with. He was patient. When I joined, we worked at the same law firm for a few years. As a newbie lawyer, you could not tell the difference. He was patient, he was humble, he was engaging, he was helpful. I had left the country. For a short while. You know, I'd gone abroad to set up a firm. And when I came back, Donovan had moved on to another firm. It is one of the things that I understood why, but we drifted apart somewhat. And when his brother died, Lenny was my doctor too. When his brother died, we reconnected and I made a commitment that I just would not let time pass quite so. But no, yesterday I got sad news that he had passed away, and I do hope that his family will be comforted by their memories of just what a wonderful person he was. He never wasted time in showing that he cared. So I know that their hearts are full, both with, I guess, the pain of not having your loved one around you, but also they're comforted knowing that he did all that he could while he was alive. I can't imagine that he would have changed from being that kind of person in the time that I was no longer close with him. So my condolences. Not sure. I didn't even. Anyway, my condolences to everyone connected to Donovan Jackson. I know that you are grieving. And then just in, the Governor General, Sir Patrick Allen, has been hospitalized. He reported he was not feeling well, taken to a medical facility where he is undergoing observation.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's I just noted that in recent times.
How old is the Governor General?
Close to 70.
Close to 70?
Or beyond that. Probably. I knew him as a teacher in Spanish Town when he was.
Some people might think you're close to 70, and I know he's way older than you.
Yes.
Oh, let me return.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I was just saying that I've noticed a lot of persons in recent times who have impacted Jamaica have just been transitioning out of this sphere into another sphere. It's just a transition.
Yeah.
So would you say that what's next in terms of our 2016 1660? Somebody has offered to give us a song for it.
Oh, really?
Yes, he has a song, and he said if we could use the song we want in terms of 1660.
Yeah. Well, please let me say first that we do wish that the Governor General will make a speedy recovery. We know that he's a man who is very familiar with God and the principles that anchor the kingdom of God. So I know many prayers are going up for him to be restored to full health. And I just want to say here that Jamaicans across the board who have different views about the continued involvement of the Queen in our business and the Governor General's position as the Queen's representative, I want you at this time to suspend any feelings of objection at how these things are, and to just remember that Sir Patrick Allen is a Jamaican man, a father, a husband, a friend to many. And in times of infirmity, we put aside every political notion and we surround people with love and respect and honor and care, because the fact that they may serve in one way or another that is displeasing to us has nothing to do with the humanity of things. So please all just know that when persons suffer or hurt, there is only one response that is the right response, and it is a compassionate humanitarian response. And we give that every time. We give it whether it is friend or foe. Of course, this is absent when situations when you're in battle and you have hurt your enemy. You can't hurt your enemy and then say, hush, not mine. Just making it clear that first and foremost, we respond in a humanitarian way. Earlier, I was telling Pastor Percival as we looked at the picture of Leroy Russell or whatever his real name is. We looked at him. Yeah, we looked at him being picture loaded into the vehicle, I guess, arriving at the hospital, being taken to the hospital. And tears came to my eyes when I read the account of how he was beaten. And I thought, that man is a prisoner. He's in the care of a state agency. There is no offense he could commit that should result in him being put in that condition. And we looked at the American policemen piling onto that black man's neck, and all the world was in a state saying Black Lives Matter. Black lives matter everywhere, whether it is at the hands of other black people or white people or even themselves. Our lives matter. There's no cause. I don't care what he did. I'm telling you, I don't care what they say he did. Throw food at a guard, so what?
But this the program.
For you to be beaten like that in a government facility and not on the street where, out of control thugs are at war. You're in a government facility where your health and your well-being is the responsibility of the government. You should not be in hospital for any kind of bus stop in no prison like that. Every one of them should be charged with attempted murder. Even the ones who stood by and looked. For reducing a citizen in that. Oh, I thought you said for what?
No, man, I said power.
Well, you read it this morning.
Yes.
Read it this morning. It's an abuse.
Yes.
It's an abuse.
Love.
Anyway.
Go back to it.
Yes,
that's important. That's an important thing, though. Have to be so careful in terms of how we do things. And it grieves me. I have been in situations where my response, based on what the person did to me, like this program, is to lash out. And then I feel a hand on my shoulder. Say, that's not the way. It's my son, that is not the way to go. No, that's not the way. That's not the way.
But let me tell you, I've been in situations where my rights were so trampled upon that I wanted to break something. And these are the situations where it's you alone standing up for yourself. You alone. And there's no lonely place to be than in prison.
Wow.
So there are times when just where you are can be so overwhelming that it will break you and cause you to be irrational in your response. And when persons break in those moments, the rest of us who are free and powerful can't pile on them and beat them down. That is the time when you must exercise the training that you have and the patience and so on.
Yeah. The program.
Of course. I was in court on one occasion, as a defendant. And I saw some things going and I got so annoyed and I spoke up. And then in the end, before I left the court, I had to apologize because like the hand on your shoulder, I couldn't leave it just like that. I had to apologize. But when I look and I saw how my rights were being abused and trampled on, and there was no one, not even the judge, who seemed to have an interest in making sure that things went in the right way.
Justice.
I was in court and the policeman was trying to, this is in COVID now when they said, they're managing how many persons stand in one space and blah, blah, blah. And it was bad enough. Yeah, it was bad enough that when we arrived, the doors to the court were closed. So you couldn't go in, you didn't know what was happening. And you stood outside and there's a police guarding the door who's not letting you go in. Not letting you go in. And I thought, it's open court hearing, but because of the COVID protocols, they closed the door. So I thought, surely there's a better way to see to the administration of justice without locking people out of the court where you are supposed to be a part of the proceedings. So I wasn't pleased with that, and I was mulling over it. And then when we get inside now, there was another. Anyway, by the time the policeman was telling us where to go, I just said, I'm not moving. I just ignored it. It was like, this is enough. I've had enough. I'm not moving. And he was getting irate. Anyway, by the end of the proceeding, I didn't throw anything at him. I just refused to move. It was like, you know what? This is enough. The only thing I can do is take control of where my body is situated. And you're not going to take that away from me. I think one of the attorneys saw that we were getting to a strange point and said to the judge, well, there are too many persons in that area. The policeman oughtn't to be sending people there. And that's how it was. So in the end, suffice it to say, I know what it is to be in the presence of overwhelming authority and feel that you have no control and feel that you are definitely at a great disadvantage. And sometimes the only control you can exercise is to just do something irrational. And
can you
so I'm empathizing with...
Can you extrapolate how we are feeling with a mass of people around the world, how they are feeling in terms of all of what is happening?
Of course.
Overwhelming use of power.
Yes, that is why you see people doing things that make no sense, like, congregate on a border and just stay there. I mean, how are they getting food and fuel and the place is so cold?
Yeah. No, it's just...
Yeah, you will just do, because it's the only thing you can do at this point is determine where you are situated. I am standing here and by God, you're going to have to lift me up to move me. But don't tell me to move and expect me to obey.
And a lot of people in a lot of countries have come to that state of mind. They're just going to say, okay.
It happens.
It happens. So just a word to the wise and the powerful.
Can I tell you, I have to congratulate our Prime Minister. I have never seen a man walk closer to the sun and not get his wings melted.
Okay.
Because Jamaica was on that same trajectory. Going there, mandate. We were being primed and pushed and ready. And somehow, I know that there have been a lot of prayers, but I still have to congratulate our Prime Minister for hearing his people.
Listening.
Things not perfect, but I tell you, it's not as bad as it could be in other places. And at the very least, he did not do what some others did, which is to introduce a raft of repressive protocols and then have to dial it back. Okay, see, Boris Johnson has, just as the Queen has succumbed to COVID. This is no laughing matter. She's a frail old lady.
She's 90 or much.
Yeah. And she probably doesn't have COVID. She probably just have a small flu. But in this day and age, just as the Queen is, can you imagine? Anyway, terrible. He has let it go. Canada gonna fall too. Because that is the weight, and to those who believe we are powerless, that is the weight of the human voice speaking
Spirit.
in one tone.
Yes, coming and saying enough is enough. 'Cause
Enough.
you know, I'm just reflecting on the some people call it public bus up in tourism.
Yeah.
And somebody coming in
Lord.
and saying, okay, all right, we gotta fix this.
Gotta take control of that
We
shop.
gotta fix it. We gotta
Yeah.
fix that. And then with the you just have to do better. And no, but man,
Yes.
we have to do better by ourselves, for ourselves.
Of
We have to
course.
do better. We got to do better. And if people are not hearing, and here, leaders are delegated authority. That's why we pray for them.
Yeah.
That we might live peaceful and whatever. If they venture off that path and continue to be self-seeking, self-gratifying, only about themselves, God still rules in the affairs of men. And Nebuchadnezzar went like that, and God says, okay. The watchers looked down and said, this is what we're decreeing, this is what we're saying. I wish that not on my worst enemy, that God pronounces a sentence against you because of what you have done. Even though God is speaking and saying, my son, my daughter, the different princes in our society, you must not behave like that. These people are my creation.
Let my people go.
Yes.
All right. So on the 1660, we'll do that before we break on Pastor Percival. Let me give you the broad outline. A few mornings ago, the Morning Connection team announced that we are going to do our own project. We have many projects, but this one is 1660. 60 communities across Jamaica who commit themselves to change, following the plan, the model, as defined by the Morning Connection hosts. And remember now, we had given you that. I have to put this on our website somewhere.
Take a picture.
Yes.
Get a vision of what you want to see change,
right.
whether it is where it is in the social
pictures and videos of your community.
Yeah.
For two reasons. You need it to as a part of your narrative of your project, and you need it for comparison at a later stage.
Yeah, it's what
And it's
was
the before and after.
we call it, yeah.
Right.
In the social science, we call it the pre and the post.
Yeah, you will be required to organize a cross-denominational group to lead the process. And this now is speaking specifically to church because this process is anchored in prayer.
Yeah.
It begins with a spiritual vision of what you desire in your community. This vision has to be reduced to PowerPoints. Prayer points. PowerPoints. Prayer points.
There are PowerPoints.
Yes,
Prayer
they
point,
are.
because they come power. There's power in the prayer.
Absolutely. And then in the process, Pastor referred to the spiritual mapping, where you walk through and determine the action that you want to take on in your community. So that is the broad schema of the model. On our side of the fence, the Morning Connection will do an outdoor broadcast in your community in partnership with the community actors. Now, remember that you need to have at least 10 persons as part of your core team, because out of your vision will come a community-based organization. That's why we were talking about CDOs and co-ops and trusts and whatnot. That's the practical side. Now we do the spiritual side with the prayer points. On the practical side, the same prayer points will be converted into the mandate or the mission for your community-based organization. We kick off, or we will in the early stages have an outdoor broadcast. The Morning Connection will come into your community and we will do a show from your community. We're going to have two celebrations. One will be in August, Independence. By that time, we can do a progress report on your project, and the other celebration will be at the end of the year when we can reward the success of the project. And that is whatever stage it is at, because remember, these projects are ongoing. So if you decide that I am going to create a space for a safe receptacle for garbage in my community, and I'm going to ensure that each household has 2 bins. Let's say that is your project, because too much garbage on the street. I'm going to organize a group of people that will go to the community on weekends or on a whatever interval and pick up garbage. We're going to pick up garbage even if people should know better, but this is our project.
The community clean.
Yes. Then when you have your community settled and clean and beautiful, you can choose another project and on you go. So it is meant to be sustainable. So one celebration will be in August, when what we'll take is a progress report. And the other celebration will be at the end of the year, because that is the end of 60th. And it would be to reward success. And more likely than not, we will have a ranking of projects and see which communities excel to the point where, some kind of award can be conferred. The Morning Connections commitment is to ensure the delivery of technology listen to Mr. Producer, because you are the executioner of this one. We are going to ensure that the technology to enable internet connectivity is present in these communities. I already have my plan on how to do this, but we don't have carousel anymore. Who knows by that time? Who knows?
Or get a
Well, to be honest, I'm really thinking about hotspots that can be set up in the community, and yes, and the community won't leave it because it's theirs. So that's a commitment that we make. Each community must have connectivity so that you can have online classes, homework support for children. There's some access to service that you can have, and government already has some project in place to bring
each
absolutely. So I'm going to associate myself with what already exists and be the driver to see that the communities have that. And the other thing we will do is assist in coordinating the state resources to establish your projects. So for example, we have connection with JSIF. Once you have set up, we have connection with JSIF and RAD. Once you have done your first 2 meetings, elect your officers, got the vision for your project well scoped and outlined, your prayer points are placed, and your prayer warriors are praying at the right intervals. Absolutely. We will then bring in the JSIF representative to meet with your group or to instruct and guide your group into moving your project into the next level of implementation. Not complicated, not difficult at all. The hardest part is for you to bring your 10 people and to start. That is the major work of the morning. We are determined to give this the best possible chance of survival. That is our commitment here. Anything that note, Pastor, before we go?
No, I think that's a good plan, a simple plan that we can move forward with, and people can use it as a blueprint, and they can fill in a lot of the blanks and the spaces. But it's a skeleton that we're putting out that people can work with, and then we're out there looking for partners. If you as a company say, oh, that's a great thing, I want to be associated with, talk to us, speak to us, even as we roll out beyond the morning.
Yes, that is one of our beyond the morning.
Beyond the morning.
Yes.
Into the afternoon.
There was
beyond the morning to the afternoon.
Yeah, there was something that caught my mind this morning, and I really wanted to share it. Let me see. This morning we read from Colossians, and the Apostle Paul sending greetings and saying, "My fellow prisoner sends you his greeting," and that just made me think of our men and women who are in prison. Some of them are there as part of the purpose for which they were created, and there's work that they are doing there and work that they are to do when they come out. And so while they are there, we cannot reduce them into we can't heap such torture on them that we may either interfere with their purpose or forbid we kill them.
There are famous stories of persons who were on the wrong path, went to prison, and they've come out of prison with such a great passion and vision and understanding purpose, and their latter days have been so much greater than what happened formerly in their lives. They really become role models, and we see it throughout scripture in terms of persons who had to go through stuff, had to have a major confrontation, and a change happen. And I'm always reminded of Jabez.
All right, we got a break signal, so let's take our break. When we return, we'll open the lines. Of course, the numbers to call are 876-619-1508, 876-279-8473.
We'll be right back.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. The Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia's recognition of the independence of the breakaway regions of Luhansk and Donetsk marks a challenge for the whole of Europe. At a news conference in Kiev, he said the security of the entire continent was being decided. Mr. Zelensky was speaking after reports that columns of military vehicles were on the move in Donetsk. Our correspondent, James Waterhouse, is in Kiev.
This is not a speech you give if you're expecting the diplomatic path to be pursued further. Russia's ambassador to the UN has said that door remains open, but the options clearly are vastly reduced after Vladimir Putin giving the order for troops to enter those occupied territories in the east of Ukraine. There are reports about military holdings. That is effectively a state of war.
The Kremlin spokesman told reporters he was unable to confirm that Russian troops had entered separatist-held areas. He said Moscow was open to diplomacy. Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz has said he's suspending a key Baltic gas pipeline, Nord Stream 2, following Russia's recognition of the Ukrainian breakaway regions. He's halting the process needed to grant the Finnish pipeline regulatory approval. Theo Leggett has more.
I think this is a very significant move. It shows that the EU is prepared to bare its teeth in this face-off with Russia. Russia will suffer from Nord Stream 2 not being open. That was a potential conduit for a huge quantity of gas to come directly from Russia into Germany and bypassing Ukraine. For Germany, obviously, it's the loss of potentially a good supply of cheap gas at a time when gas prices have been very high. It shows that pressure from the United States and elsewhere is coming to play in Europe. It shows that Olaf Scholz is willing to take difficult decisions and that the European Union as a whole is willing to take at least some pain in order to achieve its objectives with regard to Ukraine.
The French Finance Minister, Bruno Le Maire, said Paris was joining international action against Russia and was prepared to go further with sanctions if necessary.
Le président de la République nous a demandé de mettre en œuvre des sanctions appropriées.
The President has asked us to put in place appropriate and targeted sanctions against Russian interests with our European partners. We obviously reserve the right, depending on further developments, to step up these sanctions. We will not allow President Putin to violate international law with impunity.
The prospect of conflict in Ukraine has prompted a sharp rise in energy prices. World news from the BBC. The UN Human Rights Office's special envoy to Myanmar has accused China, Russia and Serbia of supplying the Burmese military authorities with weapons used against civilians. Tom Andrews said fighter jets and rockets were among equipment being sold to the junta. A court in Japan has for the first time ruled that victims of a decades-long forced sterilization program for those with disabilities should be compensated by the state. The Osaka High Court sided with 3 plaintiffs, ordering they be paid more than $200,000. William Leonardo has the details.
From after the Second World War until the 1990s, more than 15,000 Japanese people were made to have an operation to prevent them from having children described as inferior. The program targeted those with physical or mental disabilities, but in some cases having behavioural problems was enough. For years, redress in the courts hasn't succeeded, often because of how long ago the procedures happened. So the awarding of compensation by the Osaka High Court today sets an important precedent. In 2019, the Japanese government apologised for the program and offered victims some money, but most haven't claimed.
Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam has ordered the compulsory testing of all the city's residents for coronavirus. The authorities are trying to maintain a zero COVID policy despite surging infections. Ms. Lam said everyone had to undergo 3 rounds of tests with penalties for those who don't comply. In Britain, Queen Elizabeth has cancelled her virtual engagements for the day because of what Buckingham Palace described as mild COVID symptoms. The Queen, who's 95, tested positive for coronavirus on Sunday. Scientists in Britain say a fossil of an ancient flying reptile found on a Scottish island is the largest pterosaur ever discovered from the Jurassic period. The skull and body of the 170-million-year-old creature were found on the Isle of Skye. BBC News.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving. My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is a radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, Inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
He's coming back.
Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Best 100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing for
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Best 100 FM.
Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient.
Melody in our voice. Kemisha plays the music nice. Melody in our voice. Kemisha full of vibes. Best FM run the town. Yes, I run the town. Hear me loud and clear. They run the country and the town, or the far and near. Bless the love to Empress Kemisha on Best FM, and it's all about the resetting. Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on Best FM. Keep it locked. This is Warrior King, the Black Emperor. Come on, tune in.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. Thank you so much. We are getting to the part of the day now when you make sense of all we've been saying up to this point, and we get to interact with you. Of course, there are a lot of times we say a lot of things before 8 o'clock, and when you call, you want to talk about everything but that. Still, this morning, I am setting some ground rules. This morning, I do want you to say something to us about your interest in setting up your own community-based organization. I am very hopeful that it struck the right note with several of you who are listening. I have to provide another way for you to get in touch with us other than by calling in, because I know the lines are under pressure somewhat. So please, we have an email address. It is themorningconnection@gmail.com. That's it. themorningconnection@gmail.com. If you decide that you want to be a part of this journey, the 60 and 60, or not as a 60 and 60 candidate, but just to set up your own CBO, please reach out to us by email. Also, you can call the station, any of the ways you can get through to us, but just know that we want to hear from you. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
Not bad. Was you honest today?
Sorry, say that again, please.
Were you honest today?
Yes, we were.
We were on.
You missed us.
I will call the phone, drop out of me, and I'm not get you.
Oh.
You rusty, what? We're on.
You know what day? You make me out nowadays, man. But you're making me out.
But Rusty is appreciative that you're recognizing
At
him
that
now.
time, Rusty, I pick up voices.
I call this program from its inception, man.
Okay.
I think we need to get a special line
Yeah,
for you.
for your foundation.
Yeah, man, if a program just start, and you both come on, I'm not call the program for them time to know.
No, that's true. You've been, and I thank you for it because it really is the conversations that give the program an additional strength.
You know, the program is so busy, man, we can't get you again.
That's true.
I asked him, we can't get you again, man. The program is been in a lot of action here, man.
I've asked the producer to get me some more lines.
Yes, you need some more line. Believe me, I'm not the line, I need extension, no.
That's true. So that even
I need a prime form of CC on the program, you know, man.
Rusty, you have to bring breakfast for me.
You know, so this program came one of the most popular morning program in Jamaica, man.
Wow, I did not know.
Never know that.
Everywhere I went, you know, I heard the program, you know, boss.
Wow.
People are listening to the program all over the place.
Well, that is good to hear because we put effort into it and we want persons to listen. So thank you for sharing that with me this morning, Rusty. That kind of make it worth the while to wake up early and come out.
This program need 1 hour, 1.5 hour, man.
Okay.
All right.
But now you're too quick, man, in time, man.
I hear you. I'll see about that. My pastor is the one I have to persuade.
Yeah. What I call to talk about?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, man, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, man, what I call to talk about? You know, it's two parties. I'm a PNP, you know. Me near Rusty, you know, I'm a PNP, but not tell you the truth, you know. These two parties don't do a same good from 1962 till now, miss.
Uh-huh.
Because right now, see that, look down at Central Kingston, Mr. Tweet gone. If you go down at Central Kingston right now, it's pure poverty down there.
That's true. I'll have to drive to it on a Rusty.
If you believe I'm lying, you know, you can't take a peep down here for yourself, no boss. If you pick this joke,
no, but
pure poverty down at them place there, you know.
Rusty, I know I go down there frequent. I have to drive through it and so on. So I know what you're talking about.
And your people are representing, you have people for years representing that place. And them Ghana people is no better off.
Yeah.
You know, Rusty, that's why this morning and before we've been talking about just warming up the community into just, taking a greater sense of ownership of some of these issues because the politics cannot make the change. It can't make the change.
No, miss.
Can't, right. That's true. People have to own it, and then that's how it will sustain. Because even if a politician do a 1 or 2 project this season, and there's nobody to sustain it and to carry it forward, we're gonna go back into the original state.
It seems like we have to take back from these 2 political parties, you know.
Yes, sir.
We have to take back from these 2 political parties because they're not doing any good. You have an account at a particular bank, and I went back to get some money. All of the money gone on this.
Into fees.
How can that be?
Into fees, and you're not alone in that experience, and many people complain and it don't change.
And it's not me, my money. The bank book shows that the money is in there. But when we got the bank now to get the money, the bank attempts the money is not there. We don't understand all these things, miss. I'm hard earned cash in the work hard this money, ma'am.
Let me tell you, Rusty, even
somebody just take it from just like that.
So now it's not the political party that is under question. It is the regulatory system that the government maintains, which is supposed to protect us in these situations. And many have complained, and I, for one, have called Bank of Jamaica to talk about how they are regulating the banks in the management of customer account. And Bank of Jamaica tell me that relationship is between me and the bank. I am powerless. When I go to open a bank account, I can't tell them what fees, I can negotiate with them what fees they are permitted to take from my account. They do as they will with it unless the regulator who give them a license put some brakes on them.
Yeah, but I don't agree with you a while ago. I don't agree with what you said a while ago.
Which part of it?
When you say it's not the political parties in question. It's always in question.
They want to regulate it.
No, but you see, after the party takes control of government, it is no longer a political party, it is government.
If you put somebody there, represent you and the person, if they're not representing you, is the government fault?
Yes, that's the point I'm making. There's a point when the government.
So the government don't know that thousands of people ask money that way.
Of course they do. They do.
That's why there was a
And
private motion.
even now, the issue should have been addressed by Parliament, and we have not heard. We heard it was going to be debated on one particular day.
No, here
It must
nothing.
lose the place on the list, and we've heard nothing since.
Look here, miss.
Yes,
I'm
Rusty.
telling you, I'm telling you, if private sector on top of Jamaica, it's them take over the government, miss. It's them running the government, because the government is not doing anything, because it rely on those people money to go there and vote, man.
Yeah. All right,
Rely
Rusty.
on those people money to go there and buy vote. You know, this last general election, you would have massive vote buying, man.
So it has been reported many times, and we've not seen anything come out of those reports either.
The vote buying was so obvious that the people wasn't hiding, man. All of the polling station when people go there to vote, them sit in the car one side after all the people and I buy them vote when they enter the polling station, What terrible thing was, miss.
Yeah, Rusty, I have another caller who was waiting for a bit, but I want to leave with this note. Even now, it is possible for persons to make reports about who they saw doing what. Even now, election gone. Even now, it is still possible. And I've been encouraging people, you know these things, find a way to say what you know. Name the names. That's what this whistleblowing legislation is about. We got to find a way to expose those things because the people are still around and can be held to account.
And the last thing, I would say now,
Yes.
We're supposed to boycott these two. We're supposed to vote for these two parties, man. More people have got on fence now, it will be more than 63%.
Lord of mercy. But now you see, Rusty, but we have to vote for somebody because the government can't run itself. So let's get good candidates out, whether they are independent or they're part of another team. But we still need people to run the house. Not going to run itself.
But what I'm saying, these two present political parties don't deserve our vote. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Rusty. All right. Thank you, my brother.
All right, Rusty. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, caller.
Good morning.
Caller, huh? But what minute?
Yes.
On the face of it, you see what is happening in other countries when the people kind of fed up and go out and they are beaten and we don't know. But as you said, we can't have a continue just standing. I remember most people forget that in Ukraine when they broke from the.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, sir.
How you do?
Hey, Pastor there.
Good man.
I want to remind Rusty something you say.
Yes.
When the time when Jackson bring that thing to the government.
Yes.
To the house. And he suggests people must come down by the parliament to give support. How much people turn up down there?
Nobody.
So we can't always talk, So we need to take all the blame for that things are going in this country. We can't always stop because hello.
I agree with you, but I think
because so many people are dissatisfied with what is going on, and nobody is taking action. Yeah. My main point this morning, what I want to talk about is the acquittal of the Speaker of the House and the so-called and what took place with this was not garbage and the road. No, my lady and gentlemen. For life of me, I can understand what is happening in the country. The speaker, based on what the lawyer said, she was let up on some technicality. Because according to the lawyer, she should have been charged. She should have been given a ticket. She should have been charged and taken to the court. She should have been given a ticket. No, the judge, in my opinion, they say we need to get quality personnel, more people have more quality to sit on the benches and those things. Because listen, if I was in the judge position, there's no way I would have accepted the no case submission based on the individual that is in front of me and the example that an individual like that should be setting. I would have a final. And if she find it my fine is not accepted, you can appeal to another court and but you see we're lacking. It seems to me that we're scraping the bottom of the pile to find individuals in position of authority in this country. And that is one of the greatest problems we have in this country.
So I just went to look at the story because when it comes to matters of law, I try not to speak until I've read what the report of whatever it is said that took place in court. Now, you have to remember when you're looking at criminal matters, one, there's a presumption of innocence. Two, until you come to the point of conviction and sentencing, who the person is does matter. Each person stands for the law and is entitled to the same treatment, whether they are the Speaker of the House or they are the sweeper of the House. Let me get poetic. So because she's a speaker, when you're trying her, it really don't matter. You can't make an example of her in the course of the trial. You still have to give her every benefit of the doubt and every benefit of law. That's one of the things that happens and causes such great disappointment in the country when we are looking to the system of justice to answer some questions that are social in their origin and not legal. So, for example, when a no case submission is made by the attorney, really saying that the essential ingredients of a criminal offense are not present to allow the judge to convict. It's a fairly technical argument. It's based on facts, but it's a technical argument. And one in this was very obvious. If you charge someone for dumping garbage, it means they left the garbage there.
Right.
So the fact that she took the garbage, the police said to her, whatever interaction took place, she did leave the garbage there, so you can't say she dumped garbage. You see what I'm saying? And that is what happened. It sounds silly and obvious, but and I don't fault the policeman. The policeman was doing exactly what you felt. Because of who she is, he's not letting her get away with it. He's going to give her, he's going to charge her as he would any other citizen. But he should have left her, he should have waited until she drive off and leave the garbage and follow her and charge her. But he interacted with her on the spot, and he removed that critical ingredient for conviction.
I'm not going to with you on the aspect of this technicality, you know.
Yeah.
But in my humble opinion, you know, the bar cannot be so low for those type of people, you know.
No, that's a different matter.
Because if we have a society and people, person in authority are not held to a higher degree of accountability, then might as well we just shut up and when we see the little man out there, do something about it, say nothing.
No, that is a different matter, and you're absolutely right on it. So, for example, I would say, where's the Integrity Commission with their code of conduct for how people are to behave? And what's the punishment for somebody who gets caught up in this? This is just they showed a picture of the dump site on the news, and it is still a dump site. I mean, even if I were her, I would have just voluntarily made it my mission to take that site out of commission so nobody else is confused about what it is, what's supposed to happen there. Just on a voluntary basis, I would say, you know what, it taught me, I don't want it to happen anybody else again. I am going to make it my mission to ensure this area is clean and the right signage is there, and maybe have a police patrol that visit it on every so often, if I were her. But when I saw it on TV last night, at the same pile of garbage,
everybody had to get bigger too.
It looked like it has become more popular by reason of her having attempted to use it. So you got me there. You're right. The standard has to be higher.
Legislators, you know.
Yes.
And we need to have higher standard.
Yeah.
100%.
People. Yep. We can't. That lady which holding such a high office.
Point well made, my brother. I have another caller on the line, so wrap up for me, please.
Yeah, man. We continue to spread where are we going to get the type of individual with good moral standing to run this country?
Well, they're there. For example, if you don't think you're too old for it, there's you. Step up.
Well, I'm in the part of lounge now. I'm talking about the young people.
Identify.
And the proper example is that incest.
You identify 10 people in your community, and let's get a community-based organization established and train up some young leaders in your community to take charge of these things. How about that? Because we're doing 1660.
Difficult. It's good. It is.
No. Don't let the listeners. No, sir. It is very possible. It's very possible.
I tell you now.
Right now, Jamaica come like that frog in.
All right, I'm gonna leave you. I am going to leave you on that note. Let me take another call. Get more hope. Please.
All right.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes. Good morning, people.
Hey. Good morning, sir.
What you do?
All right. I was in a conversation with two people. I was telling them that public record, like a birth certificate, a death certificate, and a land title certificate, can be bought by members of the public. Am I right?
Can be
bought.
You mean
applied for it and pay for it.
I can buy the copies of the documents.
You mean like a fraudulent document?
No. I mean a legal copy of a birth certificate, a legal copy of a death certificate, a legal copy of a land title certificate.
You mean
records, right?
Yeah. You can apply for it, yeah, man.
Yes, you can. I hope I'm hearing you right. Yes, you can apply for legitimate copies of these documents which reflect the true ownership of land, the rightful date of death of a person or birth, and so on. Yes, the government allow you to apply for registered copies.
Right, that's what I was telling these two men, but they believe in their heart. They're in their 50s and older, and they believe in their heart that these things can only be bought, that can only be received by the person on the document. Only the person, only I can get my birth certificate, what he said, and only my family can get my death certificate, and only I can get my land title certificate. That's what they believe.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, attorneys at law apply for them all the time to process matters, usually for family. And you can, if you have the accurate information, you can apply for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, I think I'm so happy and I feel so privileged that I could come to a program like this and get the right information. Thank you, Lord, that there's a legal mind available on this program. Thank you.
Wow. All right, thank you. You're welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. All right. Well, Pastor Percival, what time is it? Oh, it's time for the break. Okay.
We'll be right back.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
1966.
We are something special on the road.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
It's my station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Listening crew, this is your late afternoon companion to Shikalu on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is on the ear with me, yours truly, a program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed with the credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-438-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
The line. Let's go with the first one. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, Russ. How are you doing?
Yeah, to the house, the speaker of the house, the case, the speaker of the house.
Yes.
Not really surprised me. Nothing surprised me now with any one of these people that entitled with the law, entitled with the law.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know how the flight printing go on the next one there. So when I really put them thing there for my mind. What me have for my mind now is the edge with the government did up with the aisle edge, where the previous government did up. And this government come and take off the aisle edge. And cause I'll say go up now and gas say go up so much. You understand? And across the people. Because
you mean the edge or the tax?
The edge, man.
The previous government had established like a pricing.
Yeah, right.
$5.
To maintain stability in pricing.
You understand? And them take it off, right? And then them run with Venezuela to Trump make them run with Venezuela. Right, them join up with Trump and run with Venezuela. We now get no cheap oil again. The oil we are buying the dear oil from Texas. And we don't have no hedge on it. So through that now gas gone up so much that the people can't even afford it. You understand? And that's the problem with me now. No, the next problem with me have this next party now where come now. We fair give with support. And now him fair go out now. I don't know if I've jail him afraid or why not. But the more you go to jail, the more better for you because the people will go with you. Remember Bustamante used to go on like Magellan and go around, and that's how the people get to like him. No, you have to stick out and go out there, and that's the people them see you out there.
Have you been following what he's doing on his UIC
social
TV?
Media alone, that alone can't work.
What he's doing
on they have to attack main media.
Yeah, perhaps
people.
Perhaps you need to get yourself into his you have to get yourself into his inner circle to offer advice on strategy.
Yeah, but he's supposed to hurt me and thing, you understand? So I'm supposed to reach out to me. I tried to reach out to him, I just can't get his number, but he's supposed to reach out to me. You understand? And reach out to people like me and other people and everything there.
just upon social media and all them things that one. It can't work. It can't work. You have to go to the people see. You understand? Because see it come now 60 years. And two parties do the same 30 years. Two of them the 30 years now.
Yes.
Full 30 years now. And Jamaica now go nowhere. Real Jamaica. Jamaica don't have a good hospital. We don't have a good prison. We don't have a good dam.
Well, Raspal, I hope that the UIC representatives or any one of them, leadership, I hope they are hearing and understand that their strategy and the absence of greater public engagement is causing some concern. All right, I have a that is true. I know they have their UIC TV and other, but I take your point that persons need to see them to be able to give support. All right, I have another call to take. Thank you very much, my friend.
And then again, you see, sometimes when people like Rusty and phone, and sometimes you have to give a little time, give a little more time, you know. Yeah,
well, when I have, whenever I can.
Long time I've known you, Rusty.
Yeah. Yes, whenever I can, I do. In fact, I kept Rusty so long on the line, the other person hung up. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Connection.
Hello, Miss Millet. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. How are you doing?
Not bad at all, Pastor. Yes, you see, with this PNP and JLP, none of them can help you enough. Because when I look, the whole Westmoreland is a PNP area. And everybody cheering from PNP go to JLP, right? None of them not helping because right now in Lennox the Good, we don't even know who is the councillor. You don't know who is the MP. When you look at the road, condition of the road, if anybody took seat into that district and call a taxi or a private car or whatever it may be to take you to the hospital, they are telling you clear they are not coming because the road is in a bad condition and it will burst their tire and it will mash up their bearings and all that something there. You don't know MP, you don't know councillor. So as far as I see, to me, none of them no make no difference. At least I never put in none and I never take out none. That is my and that is my intention. I not put in none and I not take out none. For no better barrels, no better hearing.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much for putting in your perspective on it. We are in a democracy and people have the right to make the choices, and when it's not working, they have the right to choose again, and people need to get a good understanding of it and exercise that right. So
yes, because it doesn't make no sense to say
thank you for that reminder.
You don't know MP, you don't know councillor, you don't see no sense in that anything. You don't know who to go to. You don't know who to go to.
Okay. I hear you.
That is foolishness, that man. That is big foolishness. Me not watching none of them. Me not putting none. Me not take out none.
Okay. All right.
All right, my sister. Thank you very much.
Okay, Miss Minute and Pastor. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
But in regards to removal of
the oil hedge fund.
Pauline made a call.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. So how you do righteousness?
Yeah, man. Bless, Pastor. Bless. By righteousness, I'm blessed. Good morning, Miss Minute. Yeah.
Good morning,
so,
sir.
Righteousness not some sadness, because as the man I tell you this morning, I tell you, in a Central Kingston, nothing,
Yes.
Because a peer soldier don't know one them really because you see the vibes are going and all the things that are going. But anyway, you go so there sometimes you go fear of going see them yesterday. But right now, as me have problem because I make a man fix my TV and the man fix the TV and fix time again. At $7,000 I give him no money and not go and the man and the TV spoil back. And I work I myself give more money.
So
and I just 1 month and 2 months. So them thing in the right man, it's when I do wickedness, people fear you, but when you have the righteousness of one and God over and godliness, then say, boy, they fear because then she say, you know, what do them know? Because you're doing love. So, send no man come tell and say, oh, you have to fix back this now. So much more money. Them thing in the right.
You talk about injustice from man to man righteousness. That you talk about the injustice from man to man. Marlon said.
Because when wickedness, remember saying, when righteousness increase, wickedness decrease. Okay. So we are encourage people to live up and have a love and them thing, So but I say within so long, we give $7,000 within a quick space of time. Now again.
But righteousness. I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that you're feeling that's not right. But you have to bear in mind, when workmen do their work, they don't really give you a warranty that the work is going to hold. Meaning they don't give you a commitment that the thing won't recur. And sometimes.
Old them use now. Old parts they use now, man. Because old parts, I'm able to protect up on the TV, so it's too much of a bit.
All right, my brother.
I understand your frustration. We have to keep doing right. He's a righteous man. But I think no evil thoughts. All right.
Yeah, man, but that's why I not to do because I'm the wickedness and I'm fix it
yeah. Well, yeah, maybe you can have to have a conversation with him and see if he can look at it again. All right, righteousness. I have another call to take.
I know, still enough. I'm here right all the season. Understand?
All right.
Understand the frustration, my brother. It happens.
Probably I'm going to make you donate one to me then.
All right, listeners, all of you who love righteousness and his creative spirit, you need a TV.
You want to put TV, man?
Righteousness need a little TV. To the morning connection family out there, if you have a TV that you can share with our brother, he'd appreciate it. Because the workman didn't do a good job and he's not in a position to get a new one. No, let us see if somebody will respond righteousness.
Right now, we still have to do the love. I love the vibe we are talking about. The people come together.
Well, and if you can think of 10 people who can join you in it, give us a call, man, and then see. Yeah.
No. I think they you come to me and they so them searching, and then the warrant is there.
Yes.
The police have to take them away. So, yeah, man.
All right, then, Richardson. Good.
But I help them with the TV.
All right, then, Richardson. Put out a call. Okay, then.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I think you like a Russ, but you notice another man say.
This man, he one the car and tell us something now come to again. Did you remember?
I remember. I didn't remember it was him, but I remember someone say that.
Is him say someone?
It was him.
All right.
But Rusty, did you? The man like your views. But do you notice that someone else said that when Rusty call, when you have like Rusty on the line, you must give him a little more time because he like to hear when you're speaking. So you gotta take the good with the bad. Not so Job say. Job say, how can I receive the good and not accept the bad?
Anyway, I'm going to speak.
All right.
Well, just so you know, he's not discredited you in our eyes.
All right.
All right, Rusty.
All right.
All right, Rusty. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Pastor, how you do?
Be good, man.
Now, Philippine, because we want to come right so. So I have to call on you all times, my friend. Because it's about a lamp.
Yes.
When anybody say anything that is wrong, if somebody tell me listening it, and what I mean, say, I touch the remark coming wrong, I said, no, this is this. And I keep with that to him, said the right thing.
Yes.
But you have some that agree. Sometimes I don't agree with many things you say, but sometimes when somebody come with the negative thing, and is trying to put it right.
No, we are defend the positive. But
you know, Father.
Yeah.
You know a lot, and actually, both of us maybe at the same age. And you know the history of Bustamante. Bustamante got here for 109 months. And when man Washington man they go and ask him, say, look here, the people he said, no, let them go back. I'm only looking for this people bed. And a little better for them. And the man come here and I come to the Bustamante was original. And I didn't think that. But the people somebody said Busta couldn't read now anything. He was very much intelligent to make this country that the moral of independent. We did have it in the 60s. How things used to really require 10 man of work. One give each of them occupy and give them they call it man in sport. And then dig up maybe a acre. A street a together and yam hill. And the other one get here, the other one get here, and they go on. And things usually run. And you see when things change, you hear who have big house, a big house and a big car and the mad capitalist and about this and that. And when we check capitalist is a person who takes money and make money. And there's nothing wrong with it because I start from a smart from what until I reach every day in my life. And there are many people who dislike me. Because of the ambition I have. But I don't matter that because they only look on themselves and something they are the bad cancer. Because as one guy said, he said, look, you have the doctor for the heart, you have the doctor for the eyes, you have the doctor for the knee, you name it. But what you don't have the doctor for a bad mind, and that is one of the worst sickness. And only you can help that when you have it, my brother.
Okay then.
Yeah,
All right, Sheppy. All right,
Sheppy. So, Pastor, I'm telling you, when you hear them come out, you know the history of Bustamante, what they have done for us. You tell them, say, look, man, he did fight for us. And it could be too bread and not a little more, but you know the history. And you must fight to two things and tell the man. The difference as a lamp light. I am a lamp light, because when we go past stage, when me go past stage, I write things to tell the people them.
All right, Sheppy. Okay, thanks. Another caller, eh?
Yes.
Welcome.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
In Africa, we say something which I will not translate. Kenge mandele, kenge patiote, endele. Not saying what it means. Mr. Prime Minister, I have three short things.
Go ahead.
The Prime Minister has now told us that yesterday he was explaining why he has turned so much financial attention to the army.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Chief of Staff, Rear Admiral, said why and how and what kind of machinery they have purchased. We have to listen to them very carefully as to where these things will be utilized. I have from my conclusion why they are suddenly focusing on strengthening its potential.
Yes.
Listen to them carefully again, people in Jamaica. There's a saying, critical analysis, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
They know the evil that they have done to people. And in the same book, the Bible, they will seek a hiding place. They are all trying to escape from what is evident. It's a worldwide risk. Inequality and wickedness. The next thing, Mr. Minister of Security.
National Security.
He referred to the issue with the DPP and the Nzinga saga. He was laughing. Go listen to him again. He chuckled near to the end of the clip on the radio. I heard it on I hope it's Radio Jamaica.
Our nationwide.
Yes, he chuckled.
And
it was casual.
And you interpret that chuckle to mean what?
It might happen again. The police is within their rights. I listened to his words.
Yes.
And I listened to the DPP.
But you know, what you're saying makes it all the more important for citizens to be very proactive and responsible in how we select a government, how we hold them accountable for their actions, because at any time, state power can be turned against the citizens. And I hear you saying that we are arming ourselves, and we're not arming ourselves to go and fight against, external forces. We're arming ourselves to deal with things on the ground here in Jamaica, which means, yes, yeah, I take your point.
I just like to remind them, when the President of the United States had a problem with the fly green thing, he was persuading the army to go out, not the home guard, the army, and his Batman, his field marshal man, Batman, they call him Bulldog. His closest friend turned to him and said, "You want me to turn my army on what people?"
Against you.
Remember, ma'am?
Yes. So it.
Okay, no, finish, Jeff.
Yeah.
Finish.
No, your point is obvious, my brother. And Jamaicans have to listen and understand that. Yeah.
Is there my question now is in two parts. Is there any way that the state or the citizens can make a move for a no confidence of a government?
Not under our not under our existing system. That's something to be considered when we look at constitutional reform. As it is now, the citizens don't have a right to move against the government in that way. In our democracy, you do it by voting when elections are called. Anything else would be extra legal. And if you don't succeed, the same army that is well weaponized now would be turned against you. But thank you, my brother. We do have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, yes. No, man, what's your mistake, man?
With what?
We never say.
No, not you.
Not you.
Not you. It
Not
was,
you.
I think it was what? Either Malvern or, no,
Yeah.
not Malvern. Whatever. It's enlightened.
Yeah.
No, not you. He wasn't referring to you.
Not you, man.
You know, no. You
don't do-
just put out your appeal for a TV.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's all right.
All right, then,
brother.
righteous.
I think I'll give something I missed.
All right. So there's another call. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
What the lover, whenever anyone knows money too much,
Santa Cruz.
Yes.
you know what that's called?
You tell us.
No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Idolatry.
The root of all evil.
Money is the root of all evil, and it's not a joke. It's a
The
serious
love
thing.
of.
You need money to spend.
Yeah.
When you go overboard and stick in front of everything, then we have that. That's what in our today we have so many problems in this country. The scammers, the thieving politicians, the corrupt police, the corrupt everything. Money. It's all about money. Everybody wants to know right now. They don't want to work and see. Everybody wants right now.
So what has
you know that
okay. We're getting to it.
of all evil. And capitalism, whenever there's a capitalist government in this country, it's the rich that progress. They're searching for prosperity, not progress. And right now in my area, it's some rich men dying up the land and putting up some building. I have never seen so much construction in my life. And I'm wondering where they get all this money.
Well, Mr. Chang is wondering too and says he's going to be checking on all of the, on, what is it now?
Or the financing it.
Self-finance, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's capitalist way of building country.
So what's your point, my brother? Because there's nothing that stops you from being a capitalist if you have the resources or can organize the resources so that you can prosper. Tell me what's on your mind. It can't be that it is the capitalists who make money when they put their money to work because it's their money.
Yes, their money, but when all on your mind, it's just about money and nothing else. And walk and people, you do everything, you kill.
And you will also lose the money. Because and you will also lose the money.
Yeah,
it takes a certain level of righteous behavior to sustain wealth.
But a lot of the capitalists that I knew from my old chat, they'll tell you, food and great. And then pass.
So maybe they are doing some good.
Not the one I know.
You must know. And Santa, I think he's a capitalist, you know.
Because he talk about him business.
Talk about money and his business.
I could live in Canada if I wanted to be rich. I have about 5 minutes until market. You hear me?
Yes.
Serious. Not joking.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. And the other thing, you won't find any young people right now. There's no one learning any trade, No, not the youth want to learn trade. All they want is money right now. That's why you have so much scammer. Kids are leaving school, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. I'm telling you, these schools are scamming.
Okay.
They're not learning anything.
Yeah,
drop out school. It's all about money.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna leave you with one thing, my friend. Many times we are reminded that children live what they learn, and if we fail in teaching them how to handle certain things and respond to some of the urgencies of life, they are going to be misled, and so, Anyway, is it time? Oh, I'm being given a signal, so wrap up for me, please, so we can.
Come on, I'll and break.
No, you do that.
Yeah.
You get through at 9 o'clock. All right, brother.
We'll right back.
Youths, are you stressed? Are you faced with trauma? Well, this is the program for you. Join Royton McLaren for Youth Resilience and Empowerment every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on Best 100.5 FM.
Hey, say, let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, and lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Don with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith that God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Don Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
The station that makes you feel good. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose. Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
Vijam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vijam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. We have two callers on the line. Let's go with the first one. Welcome, caller. Good morning.
Morning, Pastor.
Morning.
I call you about some more ago. Where I was talking about the price of chicken feed and the baby chicken and those things.
Right, yes, you're calling us
And
from.
and I was showing you an example with the fertilizer company and how the government stepped in and make it a little bit better for the farmers.
Right.
But after I hang up, I found that the people that look down there, the two political side them come out.
Yes,
and do all argument and turn in a football game. Yeah, man, I defend that one, then I said this for the federal.
Yes,
all I was trying to say is that after you elect a government, the government's responsibility is supposed to say life easy for people and create. And
Flourishing, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yes.
right.
So,
that is
what I
still
was trying to
true.
show you, this government, if him want, he can put things in place that thing is hard on the farmer. Because that's it has been done already. But you see, life is like this, Marcus, we have it years ago did one and tell him, say, a man will not live nowhere. And a man will have no food. Cannot be a Christian, A man will have no food to eat. He will not live nowhere. All of the preach Christianity
to him.
And you have to think on going to survive. Not going to listen to you.
Yes.
Listen to you.
That is still true.
They have a different thought. So it's not care what measure them put in place. And not care where squad them one bill and not task with them one bill until them try to educate the people them look up better. Make life look easier for them. We now get rid of the crime we have. We don't like get rid of it, So you see when you walk out right now, they just give you a praise and touch you, Come on, you see us. We don't fear nothing because they're all over it.
Well,
So how you see things?
perfect love cast out all fear.
Yeah. So, one question, caller. You'd raise the issue to us. Have you seen any changes in anything in terms of feed and whatever? Any?
No, it was the same way.
Of course, yeah.
It was last month sometime, but not.
Yes, and the price of chicken went up too. And the price of chicken went up too for consumers.
Then they just trying to show you.
Yes,
So,
the government said something, the industry responded with a whole set of full-page ads and pushback, and then the industry went and raised the price. And the
Raise the
government
price
has
for
done
it.
nothing.
Them know the government weak.
Yes.
The government, them have the government in their pocket.
Them have it locked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point you
Government
made was well made, and the points made by the others who were going over the history and so on did not disturb the foundation of your point. Your point's still relevant. We're still looking to see what will the industry leaders do here to make anything better for consumers and for participants in the market. And what would the government do to find a balance where everybody can have a shot at prospering? We're still waiting to see that activity. So,
And I hear a caller was talking about the man name again. First, what name again, man? The man with the lock up there in the demonstration thing.
oh, Patterson, UIC.
Yeah, but the man said,
Yes,
we're
not seeing.
I mean, you're talking
Yeah,
the last time
yeah.
the demonstration locking.
And-
You're not like them locking like the man. I mean,
Disappeared.
get called that. We know the man not use somebody at work and they're going to say, well, look at this man, a chance.
Yeah. Well, a lady called us one morning and said she was a candidate, but we're waiting to see. I mean, don't give up hope. So things have to build and so on.
We're not give up if somebody.
If somebody will come, then it will show up.
I'm not work up and go, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have some farmer representative.
Well, I don't doubt that you're in the country because I hear the chicken in the background. All right, my brother. Take care.
All right, cool.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, I Rusty take me to task, man. But I
But
don't
Rusty
believe
say you're in brethren.
No, Rusty understand. Rusty say I'm bridging, man.
Well, I mean, no, man. Let me just clarify something for Rusty. What I was trying to tell Rusty, is that what is happening when we talk about like the bad thing, everybody feeling it, because me feel it, But what I was trying to tell him that
time come for action.
Brought it to Parliament, and so I was looking some support. Maybe if we even problem itself, so even if more of us did go to my Parliament there and sign up with Fish Jackson, probably the government should have to do something about it. But none of us did.
Yeah.
So I don't say come and read and we'll come talk about this and talk about that.
No,
and,
but
and we're not doing anything at all.
the only point I fault you with as you're concluding it is to say that it don't make sense to talk about it. We need to talk about it, and we need to do, the two of you, the points that both of you are making need to be made. One, that it is still a problem. Two, is that when we had a chance to do something, we didn't act, so we need to act now.
Because so what is happening, We have two institutions in this country. We have the Labour Party and the National Party, right? And some of us we worship the politicians in those two organizations. Sure. And we don't sit down and know and think what one those organizations do for the country. Say for instance, arguments there. I believe that in a community, no MP, no officer of an MP should be painted no party color.
True.
From the moment the MP win the election, we can remember parliament for the year now.
You should just paint it black.
It should never be in any party color. Right?
I agree. No, that is a workable standard because he's people's MP. It's not that JLP or whatever.
Yeah, so sometimes we work with the institution that we have and demand that the institution them change.
Yes.
We have institution for 60 and 70 years. We don't try to make those institutions work. We walking around and say, boy, we're going to look at and we're going to look at, and we're trying to. I'm not saying that we mustn't try and get other, but it's not a country, So America have two political parties, major political parties. England have two major political parties. Germany, a lot of those countries have two political parties, But the people make the party work for them. We're not making our parties work for us,
Not yet, but we're getting there. That is why this conversation is taking place.
So we need to make the parties work for us and not the other way around.
Somebody here said the tail is wagging the head.
Right.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah. Come on, it's all right,
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, man, it's all right. The moment you become a MD or a prime minister, whatever, you're supposed to represent other people. That means you're supposed to have nothing paid for at that time.
In fact, really, what you need 3 offices. You need the party office for whichever, since we have 2, or each person should have their campaign office. Let's put it that way. Then you have an MP office.
Member of Parliament office.
Right.
Whoever is MP, that's where you go.
Move into it, and it should be the same place, the same office, and you just move out and move in as the seasons change. That's really how I would like to see it.
Yeah, but what we want to say.
Yes.
I've been watching the news with Ukraine and Russia, right?
Yes.
In Europe. And, hello?
Yes, we're listening.
You.
And definitely fair. That's a push like that.
Yes, it is
pushed
happening.
the party, about 94 now.
What does that mean? That Putin have himself as a big power here. And, it's like when we see a go on,
yeah.
The West are use Ukraine as a push button, like. You understand?
Yes.
As worry that an American out there, and an Englishman out there.
No. Ukrainians.
You understand?
Yes.
So them only send them ask and them thing there, and I want to say I could sell them too. Because I saw them sell for them.
Their technology and their weaponry. I'm pleased to say that the few persons who have mentioned this conflict on the show all seem to have understood it in proper context. None of us would want to see our, not our enemy, but let's say a rival superpower set up on our border. None of us would want that.
No, it's like a man come here nearby, you know, some fight a gun over here, yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And the gun can go off
At any time, right? So I think I'm pleased that the OS seem to understand that we don't just fall in line behind whatever it is that the US is promoting. We are applying our mind, and we need to apply the same sensibility to how we assess our situation here to understand that sometimes the aid that comes is not really aid; it is meant to coerce and to buy favor and to so.
That's why if you know what the film is,
yes, yes.
The Ukraine Prime Minister, the President, him still no one push nothing, you know, because I know the amount of people got there, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, you see, in England, no one push work and no. And him know man when up against him.
Yeah.
I understand because don't run, you know. Choose that man where you really clear, you know. You know, it's when the thing go on, when the thing go on Syria, and as Putin take on the man them. Everything clean up. Chechen and the speaking. So the man in a real clean up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
When they don't want a man at the backyard, they don't want it.
They mean it. They mean it. And they have the military power to enforce it. All right, my brother, thank you for that perspective.
Yeah, man,
yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, Miss Minute.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Marcus Garvey, you know, he said black man will never know themselves until they back turn against the wall. And right now, we is at the back after we turn we back is the wall right now. Listen it, a cat more kill cat. See the bank them?
Yes.
You can have $1 in your yard. In the house, because you know if man come in, first thing they lift up the mattress.
Yes.
You have it in your yard. And it's only your husband or your children them that in case you sick or you take with stroke and you can't talk.
Yes.
Or with them to know exactly which one in your yard. Man come and walk on and they know them and walk on your money. Right? Because to walk one with it in the bank, no. It don't make no sense to say you have to take money, go put in a bank, and when you finish, when you don't have money there, you don't have money.
It's gone. Yeah. That is true.
So, you can't have millions of dollars in your yard.
You just need to know the security. You're absolutely right. I think everybody who have ears heard you with that one. Thank you so much. That was well said. Well said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, once again to you both. Isn't this a repeat of history? Didn't this take place in the 60s, the Ukraine thing I talk about? In the 60s, it was right here in Cuba.
Yes.
When Russia was in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
And America said, no.
Not in my backyard.
Cuba.
Yes.
It's World War III.
Absolutely. It's
Putin is saying that for Ukraine.
And now NATO, which is the European powers, with the blessing of America, is in Ukraine, which is Russia's doorstep. A front door veranda.
Yes.
And
same principle.
And it's the same
thing.
Scenario.
Yeah.
As much as you say?
Yeah,
I don't even okay. I know you and I are reading it the same way.
When you look at the map, the reality is nobody will want to front door at the veranda.
Not at all. I don't even want my neighbor too close to my front door, and we're not competing. So it's we understand it. Thank you for that.
All right.
Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning to you both.
Morning, sir.
I just want to use this opportunity to say to the Prime Minister and the Governor General to be careful how you say things and are saying it on behalf of the people of Jamaica. Because the people of Jamaica, in the majority, we don't want no Queen representative here. I don't know why I shouldn't say I don't know.
Yes,
why they want to come. But
you're talking about the visit of the prince and his wife.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sure that the majority of the people here don't really have no interest in having them here. So they must remember that they are in power with a small majority. The majority of Jamaican people who have a vote did not vote because people are just fed up
63%
with everything that they are doing.
Yes.
And this puppet thing. We have to take up. I salute the lady from Barbados and the people of Barbados who has taken the bold step to finally throw off the yoke of slavery and colonialism.
I think Jamaica is certainly on its way to doing the same, and perhaps this visit is a farewell visit.
But we don't know, Anthony.
We don't want a farewell
visit from them.
Yeah.
We know them coming for soft, no? For sauce up, and we know the type of leadership that is in Jamaica House.
Mm-hmm.
But no, majority of us have no interest in that visit. And as soon as I can find out what is going to take place, I will be out on the street to greet them in a way that they will not.
You will exercise your democratic voice and speak from the heart. I hear you, my brother, and perhaps others will join you because you're not alone in that feeling.
With whatever I need to hold up in a man and show them, say, we don't want them here.
They're not welcome. All right, so that is you. See, that is the right that we fight for to preserve, and we don't want anyone to interfere with that right. The freedom to speak.
Remember how they called up a few people from Caribbean to come up here when there was the issue with Venezuela?
Go where? To Washington or to visit?
By calling a few.
To go to Washington. To go to, yes.
Carry them through back door in one country house. And the sad part of it, they were so naive that when they finish there, they gave them the utensils that they use, said, tell them is a gift.
Oh,
and
dear.
They didn't even realize that I eat, and now I eat.
Nobody knows why you sit after them. All right, I didn't know that one. I didn't know that story.
So, we get gift.
Oh, boy.
They are pathetic. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're
welcome.
welcome.
Up with me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I want to address an issue that is. Do we have another call? Oh, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Shalom. Shalom.
Good morning.
Shalom and good morning to you, Miss Lynette.
Morning,
you and yours. And shalom and good morning to you, Pastor Percy, and yours.
Thank you, sir. How are you today?
Yes. I was trying to find a scripture in regard to money. Because it says money answers all things.
Yes. In the Proverbs, right? It's in the Proverbs. There's one, money answers all things, but it says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yes, the love of it. And it goes on to say, you don't mind me reading?
Go ahead.
I want to get into a little depth in regards to that spiritually named the Speaker of the House. Dalvin too.
All right,
and also, and to compare it with the justice that it meets out to what they think of king.
Yes.
And we also notice that there's two top lawyers, and not just basic civil case. So that's the case. All right, for the love of money, and this is found Timothy 6 and verse 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, heard, mean goes wrong from the faith, and gets themselves through with many sorrows. Verse 11, but thou, O man of God, and this is speaking to us now, you Jamaican that came on the slave ship, you so-called Africans that are not Africans, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness, and those are some of the fruit of the Spirit. All right. Now, I must address the issue as briefly as possible about the gas tax. Mr. Percy, an edge is an insurance. It's not a deterrent. So it's an insurance that the government installed to help to defray the expenses that it would cost the common people.
True.
It's not a deterrent. We can inflate the price of gas. Yeah. We are not part of the OPEC, and we can inflate the price of gas.
We know what the hedge is. We know what the hedge is. Carry on. We know what the hedge is.
And what we need to think about now is this ad valorem tax. And what tax is that? The government can do something about that to reduce the impact on the people.
That's correct.
The ad valorem tax.
Yes, that we can control, or that our government can control.
Yes. If you love
that and DCT.
They love the poor, you know. But sister, anything you love, don't you want more?
Love of money.
I won't go any further on that. All right, let me point this out in regards to the injustice.
Yes, with Miss Dalrymple.
That was meted out to Miss
Dalrymple.
No, not Miss Dalrymple. It was meted out publicly and otherwise in government circle to one Miss, we are poor. Well, you consider us to be poor. Mrs. Nzinga King, the young Miss Nzinga King, young Miss Nzinga King, not Mrs.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. In the case of Miss Dalrymple, I always think it's a fairy name. It's a beautiful name anyway. I'm not making fun of her. If Wilson, what the reporter said last night on the news, it said it actually goes to trial. There was a plea. All three personnel that was involved in the dumping. That's the person in our car.
Yeah, they were charged. They entered a plea, and a trial ensued. Yes.
There you go. And then a no-case submission was entered by our lawyers.
Yes.
And all three persons, there was no case.
Yes.
There was no case, and it was old.
Yes.
No, we need to consider this now. This is what crossed my mind. Why, when it was from last year, the incident occurred. Why, when this incident occurred, the DPT didn't make a ruling. It didn't permit on what basis would the DPT get involved, such as in Miss India's case?
You mean like with Miss Dalrymple?
Yes.
Because Miss Dalrymple was charged. In Miss King's case, no one was charged, and DPP was asked to determine whether it was fit for a charge to be laid.
Okay.
In Miss Dalrymple's case, she was charged.
It's very interesting. I think I'm going to give my personal opinion.
Yes.
I think a deal was made with that police officer.
In Miss Dalrymple's case?
I think, yes. Because...
A deal made where? A deal made where?
Yes. Right in the courtroom there.
No, you wouldn't make a deal.
No, not in the case of, but maybe one side in the courtyard or something.
No, but no, I wouldn't permit. I won't permit you to speculate in that way, because the time to make a deal with the police would have been at the dump site. Once the police made a charge and it is gone to trial,
right, you're right.
Yeah, there would be no deal to be made.
Anything is possible, Jamaica.
All right. On that note,
I don't put anything past Jamaica.
All right, my brother. I hear you.
I just want to make this finally.
Yes, please, because I have another caller waiting.
Is that a plea was made, and a no case submission was admitted, and we see two top-notch lawyers. We don't see it in case of Miss Nzinga. And you see,
but you see now, one of the fundamental right people have is a lawyer of their own choice. Now, if you have money and you can hire a top-notch lawyer, all good for you. The top-notch lawyers could have volunteered and gone to Miss King, but apparently they didn't. That is not the system's fault. That is because, All right, my brother, let me take another call. You know that you can call us again. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning and welcome to everybody.
Good morning, Neville. Good morning.
Yeah, I left the contact business card up there for you.
Oh, well, thank you for reminding me because I haven't got it.
Yeah, I left it for the gentleman in the other section of the building.
Okay, yes, that would be in the office.
Yeah, and the curator is looking forward to your call.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
And we want to, yes. And I just want to tell you that if you visit the place,
yes,
and if any other farmers have any merchandise that you would like,
yes.
Yeah, we'll produce a replica for you. We have you can't reproduce anymore after that. If you see any other market, you can sort.
All right.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
We want this product to grow.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen to me, people. Listen to me, moderators. Pastor, you first. In the book of Proverbs.
Yes.
Solomon and his glory said that a favor is worth more than silver and gold.
True.
Why did he say that?
Because when the favor that somebody gives you, you can't put a value on it versus somebody. Yeah, that's what it is.
And the currency.
Yes.
Now, in Jamaica and in the Western world, they practice what is known as pristine capitalism. And that pristine capitalism have their code of principle and code of ethics, just like the Christian Bible. You understand?
I'm listening.
And one of their code of ethics is compete or die. So who can compete with them must die. They love money more than people.
True.
And they'll trick you out of your money. They'll trick you. Because in one of their policies that lie is in the ears and the eyes of the beholder. It's not them telling you lie. They tell you what they need to tell you. And they tell you what you want to hear. If it turns out that it don't work out when they take power, it's not them tell you lie. It's you buy into what they tell you. You know that one?
You buy the olo, you take the olo.
Yeah, but the Bible says a lie is an abomination. A lie is an abomination to God Almighty. These capitalists, they don't think that way. They deal with money. And I think it is my responsibility to make some suggestion on this show if we want to go forward.
All right, my brother. Yes, make them before we take the break.
Miss Minette, you need to set up as a lawyer You need to go into the register of company on behalf of this project that you have here, this program.
Yes.
And set up what is known as a trust fund.
We talk about that this morning. They listen.
Yeah, listen me now. This program here, Best FM.
Yes.
By my studies, have about 40,000 listenership from Nigel Point to Moran Point when I do my little mathematics. I went into Manic, and people in Manic, Notify, Manic, St. Ann, because of this program. You saw there are 40,000 people that have listened to the show, listen to the radio.
Yes.
We need 10,000 of them, 10,000 out of 40,000, that is a quarter. To buy into this trust fund, and people like me, I spent $30,000 last year buying phone credit to call and do my business. I buy package deal from floor. 30,000 let's spend when we're looking at my letter. And I am willing to cut my phone bill by 5,000 and make that 5,000 donation to the trust fund. And you see the 10,000, if they chose $1,000 each for the year, we would have $10 million. And you see that $10 million, we're going to target the most vulnerable people who listen to this program, like the blind man and the crippled man, and we're going to help them. And secondly, suggestion before the break, and I come off our radio. People who have skill set in this program, and this radio station, like you and Pastor, and the great Jerry Small, etc.
Yes.
We are going to find a way to do favor for one another, so that we can stretch our currency. Because me never can do that 12 subject successfully here, Pastor Minute.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, me, I tell you that. Good like that. Tested and proven. Because one person who know me can deny me on the radio. Me never.
Okay.
So we can take all a guy from Negril. Me not for go on Negril.
Yeah.
And call me from my phone anytime I'm ready for clarification, mathematics, accounting. And me can solve the team and Negril on the phone and my name of anyone. And we just do that on behalf of the trust fund.
Yes,
and
sir.
because we want Jamaica to be a better place.
Wow.
All them things that we have to set up, you know.
Yes.
Man.
Wow.
And these businesses, when you put them through the register of company, they are what they call non-profit organization. And we don't want profit from it.
Yep.
But then we're not supposed to get shit.
All right, Neville.
Because
Okay.
you see Russ Paul, the man they say, I win the project and I participate and know we are link up and I see how we can solve things, you know, it's money thing with them set up around there, you know. Because I'm not living with this, you know.
Yes,
True.
sir.
That's true.
There is no member of parliament who have one job in Jamaica. Some of them all have 6 jobs. And for them road work that we see are done and housing we are built.
Yeah.
Them are shadow directors and shadow investors in them. We are rape the Jamaican people from Nigel Point to Moran Point, you know.
Okay.
And because they love more than people. And you see the climate change we have come.
Yes.
It make them body got wet, because them broke, them can respond to climate change. And you see the digital revolution we have come with. Now one of the people that make them thief for money like that, you know. Because the IMF tell them said there is no more things you know.
And you know we've been talking about
so faster, you know, say all now Jamaica is on right. People should have still go to prison for syntax.
It's true.
Yeah.
And listen to this now, the IMF tell them say, when you're coming back round here to fix up your nastiness, how you deal with money around here, you know, the IMF tell them that in the boardroom of Jamaica House.
And we should be on our own. We shouldn't be fixing this.
Yes, because we have the resources.
We have the resources and
45% of the gas money, when you go to the pump with $100. Every $100 where you spend, $45. But the war the government and the budget under some thieving scheme, you know.
Never.
You know what?
Never.
Yes, sir.
Actually, we've come to the break. You know what I...
To be continued.
To be continued.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's take the break. We can pick up when we get back. All right.
We'll be right back.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash. Located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road. Below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum. Undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound. Shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash. The best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
It's my station.
Moving.
It's my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Blast FM. Keep listening.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine with shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the caller on hold. Please go ahead. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, love and bless. Wagwan.
Hey, we're good, my brother.
Yes, what's up?
The so-called Jews and so-called PNP and so-called GLP, they are not good to consume, you know.
You have to start over for us.
The African, yeah.
The Jews and the PNP, and they are not good to what?
To consume.
You mean we shouldn't listen to them?
They're not good, Empress.
All right, tell me what you said now. What was said this morning that you're responding to?
No, I listen to them as expert, you know.
Oh, okay.
You're stuck in general.
People come and call African so-called, you know.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But we don't let that disturb our spirit, man.
Yes, my brethren.
Yeah, we don't let that disturb our spirit.
I mean, notice the youth will get beaten at the jail, the prison.
Oh, no, that.
The youth will get beaten at the prison.
Yes.
The youth will get beaten at the prison. I told my thing I'm hear about it, you know.
I said the same thing to Pastor. I said, if that was not a famous man, we would not hear about it. This has got to be something that they do all the time.
You know much about them mash up in there. I ain't hear about it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's cruel system of here. GG, the queen, the kind of too. Be kind, my brother. Be kind.
We're kind people. We're kind people.
We're kind?
Yes, man.
What they're saying, be compassionate towards the Governor General. It's a Jamaican man who was taken ill. But I mean, it is still funny that him and the Queen.
I don't compassionate. I'm just saying, the Queen takes sick.
I know.
The Queen sick and takes them too.
I doubt it, but it is funny. The way you said it.
Yes, sure.
I do see what you're saying.
Me did the pan a piece of land next to King's House, you know, which part in there, you know.
Yes, you speak with feeling. Yes.
I'm going to in French, you know. I know the land that I rubbish, you know. I would ask the people that can't farm in the you know.
Yep. But guess what? I get what you're saying. But hear me now, African. You show yourself to be a better man than him because he may not have even considered you when they fence up the land. But here it is, you are aware that he's sick. Say a prayer for him. Move into your next level because you can have more land and a better prospect because he fence up that little piece that you want.
And a bigger opportunity has opened up.
Bigger opportunity. Step into it and know that it has only been possible because a man never consider you when he fence up the land. Say a prayer for him.
Miss Murphy.
Yes.
That's how they did Ethiopia.
Bring up date.
Huh?
Go ahead and tell me.
When the war because of Ethiopia, so them urge it. You saw the American president them urge it on.
I did not notice that specifically, I'll tell you the truth. But it would not surprise me because America tends to want to see instability in parts of the world where it wants to take control of the resources. Instability is an opportunity for some nations.
Donald Trump's telling the people who fight the government right to bomb the dam. Bomb the dam, and that thing going on.
You expected better from Donald Trump?
Yeah, Mr. Biden now. Mr. Biden now room and get money now. The man put in tax the now.
Well, not because of their religion, but I understand that there's no natural friendship that's going to come between two rival powers, regardless of their religion.
Them have a meeting day before yesterday now. And after the meeting, they go out escalate.
You mean Putin and Biden? Yeah.
Then go behind door, go have meeting, run a corner. I don't know what it is about. But then that time, the news message, while playing a year around white tanker, a float across the place, missile, bust on fire. You know what it is?
Yes, I saw it, but you see how I look at it. I have an understanding of it. I don't expect Putin to back down because Biden says so, and I don't expect Russia to accept that kind of activity on their border.
Just wait.
I fully expected that if things escalated in a certain way in Ukraine, that Russia would do what it needs to do. I'm not one of the persons who believe that when America speaks, you need to agree. I mean, personally, everybody would know that about me already. I'm not in any way overwhelmed by America's power or the rightness of her voice.
And I'm saying, I would say to you, it's the same in terms of these superpowers who only think about themselves, not thinking about the smaller nation. So that's a general principle. Yeah.
One thing Samuel, who called, was saying is that we have to recognize that there are some things which have an impact on the price of oil in Jamaica. It has an impact on us. We can't control what those external powers are doing, but we can control what we do here. So to the extent that we impose taxes on products and so on, that the price already gone up, the Jamaican government needs to step up and do the right thing for the people.
But that's what we're saying.
My brother, I mean, you're right on all points that you've made, and I love the fact that you are bringing our attention to an assessment of how these external attitudes, voices, impact, what they say about the people who we like hug up, and how we can test the market. You went? Okay, good. There are a few things that I need to address because it's been heating up on our chat, and I like to include our online community as we are going through. And even as I was working out my strategy, one very impatient online listener said, "Matt, you're ignoring us." And I apologize for that. But to keep the two things going, sometimes it is an effort when the calls are coming in so fast. Let me pick up from the first thing that was challenged. One person thought that we had misled the caller to whom we told that you can any person can have access to documents in public registers of births, deaths, marriages, and so on. And I don't know what their experience is, but let me go from the law. The act that deals with obtaining certified copies of these documents, which is the I think it's the registration of births and deaths. It says any person, section 55(1), in the event you have had problem at the registry and to get certified copies of documents that are not your own. Any person, upon making application the prescribed form and upon payment the appointed fee, shall be entitled to obtain from the Registrar General a certified copy of any entry in the registers of births and deaths in the civil status registers kept by the Registrar General, and it lists the information that should be on it has to be in a particular form. So if you try to get a birth certificate for your niece or your friend or your grandfather who did a long time ago, and you are told that you can only get your own document, it is not so. The law, it is a public register, and it is accessible to any person who applies and pays the fee. So let me see who said we misled the person, so I can be specific about that. I like when these things come out because, Tumblebaugh Perry said, "Don't mislead Malvern. You still have to give a power of attorney to anyone other than you to apply for your documents." It is not true. Any person can apply for the document. What you can't do is apply for a document and then try to send anybody else to go get it. The person who's to collect it must have authorization from the person who applied. Precisely. So, yeah, that's just correcting that, but I like when people have the right information. There's been a question about, can you have a vote of confidence in Parliament? Well, the question from the caller was, could the citizens move a vote of no confidence against the government? The citizens can't, but within Parliament, there are things that MPs can do, because the leader of government must enjoy the confidence and the support of the majority in order to be Prime Minister. And so that can be done in Parliament. Things you need to know as you are planning how you want to address certain things. So that's to answer Ricky B and some other persons who had that question. Conrad, I actually have a book, One Fit. I read it and love it. So I like it when you make recommendation on things that we can do. I'm just going through as quickly as I can to catch the issues. There's a lot of chatter about, the Ukraine versus the West versus Europe and so on, and I think everybody's on point with it. Let me just move quickly. Okay. All right, just going through. Yes, Tumblebook where he said, "Minute, you're ignoring our live chat." I did not mean to, just so you know. Neville's suggestion was definitely, Ricky B, you want to get in touch with Neville? I think we have a number for Neville here. I want to get his permission, of course, but I think all the callers know that whatever we do going forward, Neville is a resource. You're gonna see him supporting, and I really do thank him for the suggestion he made. It is really vibing with what we were thinking here, that we want to do some more things and talk about making change. We want to be a part of the change. All right. Conrad says Sudan was split and America was split. Now Ukraine factions want to split and America is saying no. See, when it comes to us, the narrative is different.
What he's saying is different between.
Yes, but America's no to Ukraine is because Ukraine wanting to split is to give, is to restore a strong relationship with Russia and to pull away from the relationship they were seeking to build with NATO.
But what is happening is that you have different sections. When you look at Ukraine, because now Putin has said he's going to
recognize the independent. Yes,
and if I was Putin, you're not going to get coming back.
No, that is beyond even contemplation. But
that's what he said.
You know what? I want us in Jamaica. I want us to exercise the right to determine what happens in our country. That is, and I think Ukraine needs to do that. Form your own allies. Do what you want to do. Don't be under pressure of. I mean, you do need to have powerful friends, but choose them.
You have the power to choose.
You must have the power.
But I'm saying people, even as they are choosing and doing what they're doing, because we've said that on this program, everybody out to move their agenda for the Chinese, the Russians, the Americans, everybody. So in choosing these people, you must do things that benefit you. It can't be only one side.
Yeah.
It must be mutually beneficial so that everybody, it's a win-win situation.
And you know what? You better learn to live good with your neighbor because that's who you're going to go to. That's the closest person to you when trouble strikes. So they need to get along with them, one another in Europe. We're in the last 10 minutes of the show. Unbelievably so. I want to just give my thank yous, as I always do, to those who called, those who their notes on the chat, and all the support we're getting. Clearly, there are some bigger things that are ahead of us. Yes. And I look forward to the support that seems to be well promised. This has been a morning when a few callers have really made us feel like what we're doing matters and is having an impact. And I appreciate that greatly. Many times you're casting your pebbles into the water. You see the ripples, but you have no idea that it's actually making an impact. So thank you, Crew in the House, Mr. Producer. I know you and the engineer are a big part of the team. Nobody hears your voices usually, but I think they understand now that it is a team of 4 people pulling together to create an impact on what's happening nationally. Pastor Percival, over to you. Thank you, of course. Every morning, thank you when I have the opportunity to.
No, I just say, as we close.
Yes.
Look at the front page.
Shut the violence. Pray for Tommy Lee. You like which one you like?
It's just a sense of what is happening in the nation.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Well, world, because there is the parade on our page as well.
And the point that gentleman made about